Doc, can I call you Doc for this one?
You can.
Tell us, is there one potentially most challenging experience that you're able to share in your career?
Sure. I'll actually give you two, but I'll try to keep them short. The first was an example of I was in Afghanistan, and I was asked to think differently. And we were trying to look at the challenges of the poppies in Afghanistan. There was some people that said you need to burn all the poppies, and I asked the question, I said, is that the case, and why? Can we look at the data? And what we showed was actually, in a lot of cases, these were subsistence farmers that really had no alternative but to grow poppies because it was in desert conditions. And so by burning the poppies, you were, one, alienating them, and two, you were actually made at risk that you were actually putting them in debt to others. And so I was trying to make the case that we actually shouldn't burn the poppies, but instead focus on alternative crops that could be more profitable, as well as maybe precursor chemicals and stopping the trafficking of the drugs out. So you could actually change the market. The U.S. actually changed its strategy to get on board, but other countries, I won't name the specific ones that may have been in other countries, weren't changing their strategy and went all the way up to their foreign office and briefed. At the end, they said, may be right scientifically, but we still want to continue to pursue this. And so that's where I had to put aside what I thought and believed to be true and say, okay, I salute that flag. I mean, it's your choice. And that's where I think at a certain point in time, a leader has to know when do you fight that battle, when do you say, that's a call beyond me. Right. So that was a hard time.
Yeah.
Another thing was about 2 years after that, 3 years after that, I accepted a role as a senior executive that involved reporting to a presidential appointee. And that presidential appointee that was hiring me, I went through the interview process, was an elder statesman, big picture individual. But before I showed up, it got replaced by a different presidential appointee, which was the exact opposite. Very specific, very detailed, micro, I'll just say micro and just stop there.
Got it.
Engineer, and also changed his mind on a regular basis what he wants. And, you know, maybe that was what was needed for the role. I'm not going to cast any judgments on it, but I was literally told on day 2, we know we hired you to be the director of policy. We actually want you to do technology instead.
Nice.
I said, okay, I'll salute that flag. And so what preceded it was a half in which I tried my best to help that person have a strategy, have a vision, even if they were much more weeds than I would normally be and I thought was necessarily appropriate. But I think that's actually a really good experience for anyone to have, which is what do you do when your boss maybe isn't, I won't say necessarily a bad boss, is not necessarily the boss that you thought you were going to get. And I think that's actually where you actually learn more about yourself, and you also learn about what leadership style do you want to bring when you actually lead your own team, but also what leadership style do you not want to bring because you've experienced it and it's the last thing you want to do to others.
Yeah, it's a great story to share because, again, comparing things to sports, you're a player, new coach comes in, you better adapt.
Gotta adapt.
really quick. So great stories. Thank you.
Thank you.